GM. GM. Today's lesson, I'm going to talk about two types of people who have disproportionate odds of success in trading and what you can learn from them. So, you might think that everyone who starts trading has an equal chance of being good. And, the logic being that trading is a very unique skill. And since before you trade, you've never done it before, and if you're learning from the ground up about price action principles, technical analysis, or quant style trading, or basic, positioning, risk management, any of the key fundamentals that go into trading, you might think that you take two people off the street and you give them the same training program, they would have roughly the same odds of success. Now, in reality, there are certain types of people who are better suited to being profitable as traders and progressing faster and becoming a success quicker. They are poker players and athletes. So, pro poker players and professional level athletes are overrepresented on Wall Street or institutional trading or prop trading or any professional environment for trading. But they're very different in the way they approach it and how they get good at it. So anyone who's a pro poker and like professional level poker tends to have an advantage when starting trading because they understand statistics and probability and bankroll management and risk, and they're not averse to risk, and they understand gambling, the betting nature, and expected value and all of those things. So poker gives you a unfair advantage, I guess you could call it, in terms of that grounding. And that's why you see so many ex-poker players transition over into crypto and into trading and do really well. Of course, it doesn't mean that if you've played poker before, it means you're going to be great at trading. It's just it's a generality. And the reason I'm saying this is not so that you can go and give up because you're not a pro poker player. It's what can you learn from them. The poker player is not a profitable trader because they play poker. It's not because poker's special. It is because they understand certain things which you can also learn. Like I said, poker players understand statistics and probability better than the average person. Much, much better. So that's all explained in bootcamp. If you're not at blue belt yet, don't worry, that will be explained at blue belt. The basis of everything is risk. Risk, reward, expected value, conditional probabilities, and a bunch of other topics that we discuss in there. Second type, and this is who most, if a Wall Street or a professional trading firm can identify someone. Let's take prop firms, like actual proprietary trading firms, not that bullshit you see online where people are like, oh, get a funded account, which again, that's a rant for another day. I've ranted on that before. But there's actual trading firms, real companies where you go and you go into an office and there's a desk and there's loads of screens and they teach you how to trade and they let you trade with their money. It's an actual, real professional environment with a very lengthy application process that you have to get through before you actually get to trade live with their own money in the company, right? Not some thing you pay $200 online for. They look at professional level athletes, and really college level. In America, it's D1, Division 1. It's like the top end of college athletes. They have really, really high hit rate relative to the general population when crossing over into trading. And that one is less intuitive, right? You hear about poker player crossing over into trading, you think, all right, yeah, that makes sense. Poker player, it's the same kind of thing, statistics, probability, risk management, etc. But athletes, like how can someone who's like a fucking college football player, how can they be like a good trader? It doesn't make sense. You're like, aren't those guys dumb? Nope. It's nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with brains. Because again, trading's nothing to do with brains, right? You can't just be smart and make money in trading. There's way more to it than that. The reason why athletes cross over well, and the reason why many of these professional firms select them Like they look for athletes. They like to see in someone's background that they have professional or very high level competitive sports experience. And it's because they are disciplined, understand hard work, and are coachable. That's the most important part. A pro athlete is hyper disciplined. They're used to eating the right things, getting the right amount of rest, training multiple times per day. Their whole life just revolves around athletic achievement. And so the discipline crosses over really well into trading. They're used to early mornings, late nights, long grind, which is what trading is. The second part, so discipline and hard work is number one, but the second part is really important. They are coachable. An athlete will always be coachable. A good athlete, a top athlete, always coachable. There are no top athletes who don't have coaches. They all have coaches, support staff. And that's so important in trading. It's not who's the best natural trader that wins. It's the one who can take on board feedback and actually learn. And this isn't just about being coached by me, mentored in the lessons and the questions you ask me. It's also about yourself. If you have too much of an ego and you're not willing to be open to feedback, you won't be able to self-analyze. There is nobody, listen to interviews with golfers or footballers or fighters. There's nobody who is a bigger self-critic, they're their own biggest critic, right? They're their own biggest critic. They don't look at other people and say, oh, I can't believe he said that about me. Everything that somebody could say about them, whether it's a sports presenter on TV saying, oh, this guy was shit in the game or whatever, that guy's sitting at home thinking, I know. I've already analysed this 10 times over myself and I'm far more harsh than I could be anybody else. So, you don't have to be a professional athlete, but what can you steal from them? Understand the amount of discipline and hard work it takes to be successful as an athlete, and then understand that when they transition that over into trading, they also have high success rate. That tells you something. If you behave and act like a disciplined professional and work very, very hard, you greatly increase your chances of success. That's number one. Number two, be coachable. Be open to feedback from me, from others, from yourself, because it's the only way you can learn. You learn through making mistakes. Make a mistake, correct it, move on. So you have to do that over and over and over again until you improve. And that's it. That's what you can learn from poker players and athletes about being a trader.